My name is Leah Cimek, and I'm here today with Katarina Stanisavljevic. Katarina is a well-experienced marketing and media executive with over 20 years of experience, and she also founded her own company last year. She is also WU Executives Academy Female Leaders Network Vice President. Hello.
Hi, Leah. Thanks for a wonderful introduction, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
I'm glad you're here. You were a senior marketing and media executive with over 20 years of experience in Austria and also Central Eastern Europe. What has changed in marketing and media over the 20 years? In which area do you see the biggest change?
Thank you for the question. Marketing and media has really undergone tremendous change in the last 20 years, driven by changes in society and developments in technology. And first, it's all about also opportunities and channels. Well, I can tell you a few funny stories, and please don't think now you're going to know how old I am. But when I started in my first job, there was no social media at all, and decisions were on a level. Do we want to use 30-second TV commercial or 20-second TV commercial? I mean, don't get me wrong, these kind of questions are still important, but there are much more opportunities. And we're talking about decisions around channels, around storytelling, and also around technology. And what it means that also the role of a marketer, and also what does that mean today versus before to be really a marketing rock star. And in the past, it was very easy to acquire all the kind of specialist knowledge and to do a lot of things on your own. Well, today it's more about getting like a very good general overview, also following trends, understanding technology especially, and also be willing to learn and interested in learning new things, and being a very good informal leader, because it's about ability to bring all the amazing talent together and work on the projects, because I mean you can't do everything on your own. The second big thing is also how we are kind of measuring audience and also how we're able to activate audience. And here very interesting developments in traditional media as well. I mean, digital was already quite mature, from the beginning. But again, now a funny story. You can imagine when I started in my first job, TV audience was measured with a diary methodology. So people would actually write a diary Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and write what they saw, with what kind of shows. And imagine precision of this data. It would be like, some ratings of the news shows would have 50 ratings. So, kind of 50% of people in a country would watch that because, it's just the memory of people. And of course, there were some developments, until now, like people meters. But now we're at the stage where Netflix, for example, is having this, introducing this freemium model, and we will be able to communicate, to address audiences in TV as we are able now to do it online. And this is tremendous opportunity for people, because we will be communicating in a very relevant way, for brands because of effectiveness. But of course, it also comes with some concerns, around data privacy, and we should be mindful about it as professionals and also, of course, as individuals. And finally, it's all also about the, how does marketing is function interact with other functions in the company, for example, even supply chain. As for example, I mean, there is this brand purpose that has been a topic in the last 5-6 years, and with COVID, it has moved towards brand activism, where people demand from brands, to kind of contribute to the more healthier, wealthier, more fair, sustainable society for all. And imagine with all this transparency now, kind of brands communicating that they're standing for sustainability and driving this agenda, and at the same time having, unethical, for example, sourcing practices. So that does not work well, actually. So these are, let's say, some of the, in my opinion, biggest developments that we have seen.
Okay, thank you. And last year, you founded Amazing Next, a marketing and media consulting company. In your experience, what is the biggest difference between working in a corporate environment versus having your own company?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been thinking the whole year about it. And, I think, regardless of what you do professionally, you should at least once in your life at some point have your own company. And you don't have to do it, 100%. You can also do it, next to your corporate job. But I think it's a great experience because it brings completely new perspectives. So there are, of course, positive sides. We have complete freedom. Whatever we do really drives the business. for most of us professionally, it's also giving flexibility to kind of assume other roles, if you want to teach or to mentor. Although we have seen today during some of the talks of other speakers that companies are becoming more flexible around that as well. But what we underestimate, and what is really a big benefit of working in a corporate, there is a more or less clear strategy, and there is also a team of smart people usually that you like, and this also kind of drives you very, very much. And when we are in corporates, we think like, oh, this is such a common sense, and we should have done this differently. But once it's your own business, and once you make all the decisions, you realize, well, it's not so simple anymore. So I think that's kind of a big part of it.
Okay, thank you very much. And you came to Vienna 7 years ago, and you did your MBA in marketing and sales at the WU Executive Academy. Why did you decide to go back to university and get your MBA?
Thank you very much. So basically, when I was deciding to do my MBA, I was in a comfort zone, and for me personally, being in a comfort zone can be very uncomfortable. So, my learning curve was quite limited, and there was not so many challenges. And I came to Vienna. I started my program at the WU Executive Academy with searching for challenges, searching for access to new knowledge, and also to the environment of people who are also wanting to learn and to be better. And what I have experienced was, so much better than I could have ever imagined. And I'm getting shivers now when I talk about it and remember my experience. But, like the quality of the academic program, the lectures, professors from, WU, but also from, Stanford and INSEAD. But also, big part of it was amazing community. We were 24 nations with the very diverse backgrounds, from business people like us to artists, also to kind of scientists. And we all supported each other, but also challenged each other. And I have learned so much from my peers. I mean, from technical tips and tricks, but also, I was so inspired. I mean, imagine one of my colleagues has, used master thesis as an idea for a book on a blockchain. Well, not only that it became a bestseller, but he also wrote this book during the same year when he got promoted and married. I mean, he's not only, this inspiration for me about, like, okay, don't limit yourself. And even if you're from Austria, you can be like a best-selling global author. But it's also, like how efficient he is. And, everybody asks, what is the value of MBA? And kind of like, there is even a funny exercise we did in a class of calculating the, the value, the break-even, when does it pay off? But I mean, how could you put a price tag on being in the environment where you can be your true, authentic self, nerdy, ambitious, curious, and also how do you put the price on friendships? I mean, that's kind of something we cannot put a price tag on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And usually about 40%, the portion of women in MBA's program at the WU Executive Academy is relatively high. Yep. This is not common internationally, where the portion is more like 25 to 30%. But during the corona pandemic, the portion dropped to almost half. And why do you think, what is the reason for that?
Yes, that is very correct. We've seen a trend of intake of female students declining, driven by crisis. I mean, there are two main points to that. I mean, first of all, women have assumed more, not more responsibility, but they were more struggling between, private and business, parts of their lives. So there was a lot of pressure, and also the second part is, we know, unfortunately, that on average women do earn less, and in the times of crisis, any investment decision is questioned. So, WU Executive Academy, I mean, they do put a lot of focus on kind of motivating intake of female students, and each year for every of the MBA programs, there are female scholarships, which is great. So hopefully it helps to kind of tackle one of the pain points. We, at the WU Executive Academy Female Leaders Network, we try to help and to inspire future students, but also, to connect them with, current students or alumni and kind of help them address any of the topics or questions. And to the point of, of managing your private life together with your professional life and maybe studying on top. I had two colleagues, and this is really a true story. I don't know how they did it, but they gave birth to their babies during the MBA, and then they finished the MBA. To be fair, not in 2, but in 3 years. But they would be a great conversation partners on the topic. How can you make it happen?
Okay, thank you very much. And now you're also vice president of the WU Executives Academy Female Leaders Network. And what does it mean exactly to be a member there?
Yeah, thank you very much. So yes, I'm proud to be vice president of the WU Executive Academy Female Leaders Network. It's a network for students and alumni of the WU Executive Academy, and we have more than 1,500 members with more than 80 nationalities. And our mission is to inspire, empower, connect, and care for this amazing community. And what do we do? Like, let's say practically, what do we do? What do we offer? When in the aspect of Inspire, we're organizing series of events where we try to tackle some of the trending topics. So this year we've talked about sustainability, about AI for leaders, diversity, and interestingly, in November we will talk about the future of health. So we would like to inspire our community to think about all the possibilities of personalized health, AI, prevention, for their business, but also for themselves, because I really believe, and I hope we live to be 100. And two of the panelists are actually our alumni, and it's also something interesting to share. They have left their businesses, their corporate roles, to pursue their own businesses around biotech in order to bring to the market some of the solutions which would not have been on the market, because for the corporates it was the margin was too low or it was too risky, and they said, well, we believe people should have the access to these treatments, and they did it. When it comes to Empower, it's about series of workshops on the skills, career topics, negotiations, etc. And also we had, interestingly, this year a pilot on a mentoring. And it was a great experience for us as mentors as well, because we were around very driven and amazing young women like yourself, Leah. And this was a great experience, because after very few meetings, really very few interactions, we have two great stories to share. One of the participants, one of the mentees, she decided to use her master thesis to kind of explore the opportunity to write a book again. And the second one decided to find her own business. So, that kind of us as Female Leaders Network Board, that drives us and inspires us really a lot. And finally, caring and connecting. I mean, every event, every opportunity to kind of connect our community, and also we care for them on a personal level. So if there is any topic that our community members are facing, there is at least another member that was in a similar situation or that is able to help. And I would like to use this chance also to kind of say what does being part of the Female Leaders Network means to me as Katarina. So, this is my source of inspiration, of empowerment. I have been supported and I have been celebrated as a person, but my fellow board members, I have experienced warmth and true care and friendships. And also, I had a lot of fun. So, without any exaggeration, joining the board of the Executive Academy Female Leaders Network was the best experience this year. And it has brought me immense pleasure professionally and privately as well.
Thank you very much. Moving on to my next question. What do you think should change for women in leadership positions?
This is a great question, Leah. And I, for me personally, it's very much about the attitude and the beliefs that individual has. So this is making an immense impact, and that's why I think platforms such as Female Leaders Network or such as Forbes Women's Summit have incredible power to make the needed change, to contribute to this needed change. I usually don't share this because I don't let this experience define me, but living and being born in Belgrade and living in the 90s there, I have first-hand experience bombing. And I don't think I'm in any position of authority to talk about how can you be perseverant or resilient, or how can you tackle challenging times with the right attitude. Because I know that there are so many people out there that had it worse, in their challenges, and that they have been facing, regardless of where from, women or men. And also, to be honest, even though I was not so fortunate from the geopolitical perspective for where I was born, I really won a family lottery. So I grew in a family with a lot of love, support, and a family that taught me the right values. So I don't think I'm in a position to talk about how to really kind of overcome adversity. But, I think I am a little bit in a position to talk about positive attitude, as I often, get the feedback about my energy level or about and kind of contagious enthusiasm and optimism. So if I kind of allow me, I would like to share my personal tips on happiness, success, and resilience. And first of all, carefully choose your environment. Environment is really everything. And this is true for both our professional lives and our private lives. Make sure to have around yourself people that are there to support you, but also to challenge you. That are also, you can look up to them and you can learn from them. And, ideally gravitate towards environments where you can be your true, authentic self. The second one, you will not be surprised, but it's never stop learning. At the Silicon Valley, there is this notion of rehiring yourself. So, ask yourself each year, do you still have the skills needed to run your business today, or to kind of be in your role today? And to this point, any kind of challenging role or task, take it, embrace it, because this will support you in developing skills, which will be very useful for your amazing next step to whatever it's gonna be. And finally, be generous in supporting others with both your time, your experience, and your enthusiasm. Because for me, it's a very, very simple math between focusing only on your own success versus supporting others and celebrating others. I mean, how many times can we, pass a very difficult exam, graduate, get a dream job, congratulations on promotion, by the way, get promoted, fall in love, or start a family, or celebrate the 80th birthday of our grandpa. So, if we support others, and if we celebrate with them, we will have the occasion to be happy each and every day.
Thank you very much, Katerina. Thank you for joining us today.
It was a great pleasure. Thanks for the great conversation, Leah.